All right, everyone, listen to this.
World's factory. It makes everything from
China.
cars to smartphones, machinery, and iron. This gives China the largest economy in power parity terms,
Nope.
worth 40 point at a Texas rodeo. He was also spending his time on more serious stuff, like touring
Trump.
U.S. country in the world with nearly 1 billion people. The labor costs were barely anything for Western standards, with manufacturers paying cents per hour. And everyone knew that once China grew
This
its
was
economy,
way
it would become one
before
of the biggest sales markets in the world.
China
That's why all the big players at
became-
the time, including most American businesses, moved in. At first, they did this slowly and
Like-
cautiously, but after China joined the World Trade Organization in
Yeah.
2001,
So
business
hold on.
went all in on outsourcing.
Now, sorry, I can't think that I took too much medication, but China has tried since the 70s to become powerful in the economic world. They started with sweatshops. Yes, they did, but they're not doing that anymore, in case you haven't noticed. People in China that work at a factory making things make $15,000 Canadian a year. Now, do you know what's happening? The US, Apple, Amazon, just abandoned the Chinese industry and made their manufacturing bankrupt because they will not import anymore from China to become, because Trump wants to become the most powerful country in the world, okay? Countries like India, the Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, all Asia, are now working in sweatshops to make the same Taiwan. They are all starting like China did and making sweatshops for all those people to become like China did to grow in the economic world. China now pays salaries to their workers, but their workers don't want those jobs anymore because they think that it's not modern. Well, China needs to go back to this. And the other parts of the world need to go back to this. This exists in China where they don't. It didn't really exist. That was Socrates writing a story and Kindle got rich over it, right? Yeah, right? Like they're like India, know what I'm doing over China, making the exact same products because the technology's aware for everyone and doing it in sweatshops. Well, China sees this opportunity for me, please. Now I'm going to let you know that that's not lying.
Worsened by the fact that the younger generation doesn't want to work in factory jobs at all. A majority of them are now highly educated, with 60% being enrolled in higher education. That means that they want to have a higher paying job, and they don't want to work on the manufacturing line, large part of the American industry, causing 3.7 million Americans between 2001 and 2018 to lose their jobs. Reported a total of $3.6 trillion, of which at least $439 billion monetary value to the area, especially on the Spratly and Parasol Islands. And most importantly,
don't attack them anymore, China.
Oil and gas. And China estimates the value of this to be at $60 trillion. Big brands, including Apple, are rapidly shifting their manufacturing from China to India. This is also a geopolitical play, because companies don't want to be over-reliant on China anymore because of the risks associated with China. If something like an invasion of Taiwan does happen, they don't want to be stuck in China. Now, in the long term, India could copy many of China's industries and
They are.
certain niche sectors. Bangladesh is already very competitive with ready-made garments. Thailand is performing well in automotives and electronics. Indonesia is producing a lot of raw materials. And the Philippines is exporting a lot of semiconductors and integrated circuits. Now, they still import a lot of things from China because China is so big that it can create
So
an
they're
economy of
using
scale in
China
all of these industries
because
if they work
China's
smart,
falling
work
with that.
together, they can catch up. Interestingly enough, Mexico is also in competition with China. It is going to widen even further to 8 or possibly 9%. Meanwhile, they're spending all this money just to hit GDP growth rates of 5%. And spending 8% needed to build factories, infrastructure, real estate, and increase exports. This unique model, which yearly wages people earn in Chinese manufacturing. In 2013, they earned 46,000 Chinese yuan. A decade later, it more than doubled to 108,000 Chinese yuan. Now, that's still only about $15,000 and way lower than the US, but it's...
So, if you work at... That's like communism for the US, right? Now, this is what you gotta do, China. Everything you have is in index funds. Everyone in the States with index funds are gonna lose their index funds for the rich people in the States like Trump, who's gonna just cancel importation from China. The whole world will lose. And that China did so much to get that far. You're gonna let hard work, all those people hard work and the labor to get China to where they are, to make things for us. This is made in China. This is made in China. This is made in China. Right? My shirt made in China. We want things from China. We do. We don't want them from India where the sweatshops are happening. Fuck this, Trump. Fuck you. Stop this terrorist shit nonsense right now. Even though great white sharks are moving to Canada, they've always been able to do that in the summer. The only reason they're doing it, BP oil disaster, they smell your oil, you fucking smoggy.